Why do we beat around the bush instead of getting to the point? Well, somebody said it happens because you're too scared to say what you mean. No. It's more complicated than that. You might have grew up in a household where you might have been punished for your authenticity. You might have been rewarded for being a model child or a model person. You know, right from wrong. And then you started to fit into that. So you can't be authentic and accepted at the same time. They usually both don't exist.
See you later. I'm a grind.
Hey, Ron, appreciate the 100 bits, man. Stay locked in, bro. You going crazy, so your motion must be up, man. I appreciate the gift and the 100 bits. It's very rare. It's very rare that you can be authentic and accepted at the same time. Naturally. You're literally going to have to find people who accept themselves to the point where they can accept you. Because if you're around somebody who doesn't accept themselves, they can never accept you. They don't live in their authenticity. So your authenticity makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they're not doing, who they're not being, and what they're not becoming. It makes them uncomfortable. And as a human being, we have emotional awareness. So it's not that you're too scared to say what you mean. It's that your emotional awareness, you're trying not to hurt the other person. You're trying to, maintain your relationship and keep it in good standing. You don't want to add a bump in the road to your relationship. But when you mature to realize that bump in the road is worth it, tough conversation, a tough situation, a tough statement, that shit is worth it because that other person might need you to be that bold. They might need you to be that bold. Listen, you crashing out. Like, to be able to give your homie that conversation, bro, you crashing out. Put that drug down, bro. What are you doing? You're not yourself right now. If you think your homie gonna get mad when you say that, you might avoid saying it. If you think your homie gonna get offended when you say that, you might avoid saying it. If you think it's gonna jeopardize your relationship, you're going to avoid saying it. Did the kid, I appreciate it, 31 months.
Hope you're doing good, man.
Right? Great. So when you know it might offend the other person, when there's a truth that needs to be said, you might avoid it to maintain the healthiness and the good vibes of your relationship. But what I realize is that's thin ice. That's not a relationship. That's not a bond. That's being on thin ice. That's that's like putting a rug on top of shit and then pretending it doesn't stink. Like, your relationship is founded on a thin layer of fake shit. And bullshit is cool until real shit pop up and expose it and clean it the fuck out. Completely. And it's better for you and that other person to live in authenticity because that's the strongest way of living. You can't take nothing from a person that's authentic. You can't say nothing to them to move them when they're authentic. Because they're standing on their square. They have a base in the foundation. That shit is solid. And when you get there, like I said, I finally feel like I'm there in life. I always had confidence. I always had ambition to do what I want. But what was mixed in between that was that I always was aware of just listening. I'm a listener. I listen to anybody and everybody opinion because I weigh it out. I analyze it. But where I'm getting to in my life and my confidence is that you can hear a person, but that doesn't mean you have to listen to them. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can give a person a space to speak and still hear them, but decide if I want to take what they're saying serious or not. If it's worth my time, if it's worth being listened to or influenced by. And I'm just so cold with it now that I don't care who it is or who it's coming from. And before, when I was younger, I felt like maybe if I was related to a person, if I knew him for a long time, if maybe just those two things. Because to be honest, it was never a status thing to me. Like, I never would doubt somebody that's home. Like, oh, this nigga ain't got nothing to say. It just was like a relationship thing. And now I'm just like so blunt with just the way I am in life and just how I'm living. It's just like something needs to be said. Something needs to be addressed, and it has to be. It just is necessary. And that's where you want to get, chat. Because if you get used to living on top of a fucking sheet of thin ice, you might be surrounded by snakes and fake people and you don't even know it. Because if you haven't applied pressure on them enough for them to bite you. You don't even know your homie is snake. You don't even know your friend is snake. You don't even know your uncle will stab you in the back. Because you've been biting your tongue your entire life. You don't know how they will really act when you step up and stand up. And then at that point, nigga, let it clear out. Y'all might hear that the whole time if somebody about to take a shower. Hopefully it's not too loud. I can turn the sensitivity of the mic down. But listen, chat. That's like draining the swamp, bro. When you start losing, listen, just imagine right now, this moment on, you stop biting your tongue. Oh, all hell's going to break loose. Until you recognize that the genuine people don't even flinch. You see, somebody that know you love them and know you care about them, I swear to God, because I got a father like that. My father can say some crazy shit to me, and I'm going to bite the bullet because I know he loved me. You see? I'm going to humble myself because I know he loved me. I'm not going to fight him to death and cut him off because I know he on my side. I know we on the same team. You see, that's a trust thing. And if I was to say something to him and be honest with him, it's out of love. He know I'm not trying to play with him. He know I'm not trying to play him. Anybody that feels like you're trying to play them or fight or argue, that should tell you how they look at you. If me saying I'm uncomfortable with something, or if I let a boundary be known, I don't like that, and that person says fuck it, that tells you how they care about you. They don't care about you at all. So what I'm saying is, when the snakes clear the grass, they never deserve to be in your yard. They never deserve to be in your yard. You've been allowing them to sit there and just not bite you. You need to shake that. You need to step all in the grass and see who bites. I need to see who's gonna bite when I keep it real, because that let me know you've really been a potential problem this whole time. Not just freeloading, but maybe leeching off your energy. Maybe damn near trying to control you. Holding you back. Or maybe not ready for who you really are. We can stop right there and start reacting. Do y'all want to swim or do y'all want to drown? My mind, like, I don't know. I just feel like I went through a spiritual shift in life in like the past 3-4 months, bro. Another one. You could real life have 10 different spiritual awakenings, chat. That's what I'm realizing. I feel like the one I really have right now has been cooking for like the last 2 years, but it hit different than like the last 4 months. On everything I love, it hit different than like the last 4 months. And this, like I said, this part of my chapter could be called To the Moon, or it could be called No More Playing. All fun, but no more playing. You see what I'm saying? It's a difference. It's a difference.